This week, Queen Mary 2 becomes a world of style as Transatlantic Fashion Week unfolds at sea. From runway moments to designer talks and a voyage that begins in the golden light of New York, we cross the North Atlantic aboard the last true ocean liner. 7 days of ocean, elegance and the rhythm of life on deck. Welcome to the crossing. After brunch in Brooklyn, we're headed back to the ship for our crossing home. And as you'll see, this voyage turned out to be something very special. A quick look at our Princess Grill suite. There's a full tour on my channel if you'd like to see more. We have a sunset departure from New York. This beautiful brochure was waiting in our stateroom, packed with events for the week ahead. Feel free to pause to read more. I have a simple breakfast in the Princess Grill restaurant.
My process was knowing for a performer, knowing what they did, what they looked best in, what they did as a performer, and how they entertained an audience. And their personalities were so important. So if you're designing for someone, you don't just make a lovely little house dress for Joan Crawford. You know, you have to kind of think about what they do and what they're known for. And if the right person walks out in the right costume on stage, the audience sits up very straight and they go, oh, I get it now. And that really makes a difference.
Our audience would like to know, do you sketch every piece yourself or do you work collaboratively? Are you like Edith Head, you have people come in and do your sketches? You go to lunch?
No.
Do you know what the term control freak is?
Mr.
Mackie, I'm going to answer part of this question. Mr. Mackie not only does the drawing for the impetus or the design, but he also draws the embroidery. So if he's designing an evening gown that has a paisley or a flower or a print on it, he also places that drawing. So he goes to the beater and he stays with her while she and her ladies are putting each sequin and bead on in place to make certain that she doesn't have an obscure flower in an inappropriate place.
Well, there's no point in doing something wrong.
Bob, you have dressed legends like Mitzi Gaynor, Cher, Diana Ross, Tina Turner, Bette Midler, Carol Burnett. I could go on and on. You'll see a lot of them speak in the movie tomorrow. Is there one look that you feel best represents your signature style? You know, we hear of, you know, the King of Bling and all of these references to Bob Mackie, but is there a look? Is there a Mackie look?
I don't know. It changes from time to time. It depends on the material that you're working with at the same time. You can't just sort of make stuff up and tell the director. I decided that I didn't want her to wear a real dress. I'll just have it fall apart as she walks in the door. You can't get away with that.
But how did you feel when Cher was on the cover of Time magazine?
Well, that was very special. I mean, how often do you design a gown and she's wearing it on the cover of Time magazine, which is for, you know, politicians and world leaders, and there she is, half naked. Or Raquel Welch, you know, wanted a dress that looked like a cave woman's dress, and she says, I want it to look like Tina Turner would wear it. And I said, oh. She said, do you think you can do that? I said, yeah, honey, I'm fine. I'll talk to you later. And she wore it in Paris, and within a day or two, I got this call from Tina Turner, who said, I just saw a dress on Raquel Welch on this magazine, and I have to have that dress. So that's like doing it right and getting it absolutely what they want.
Yeah, she certainly captured that moment. So the dress that Cher wore on the cover of Time magazine, was that the 1986 Oscars dress, the naked dress? No.
Well, it was
The
an
Met Ball,
ostrich.
the Met Ball, the first Met Ball.
The first Met Ball.
The first Met Ball.
And Cher was risque enough to wear it?
Oh, Cher is the queen of Halloween. She loves to get dressed up. If it's a costume, I've seen her start to cry after she's put a costume on that was ready to go and wear on stage. She just, I couldn't believe that she got it.
In the Grand Lobby, two iconic Bob Mackie dresses were on display, worn by Tina Turner and Carol Burnett. Starting from tomorrow, a different specially commissioned Bob Mackie drawing was auctioned. Here's an example. Here's tonight's menu in Princess Grill. Feel free to pause to read more. If you're interested in the price of this voyage, I've put a cost breakdown at the end of the video.
The time is now 12 o'clock noon. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Captain Asim Hashmi speaking from the bridge for a daily noon navigational brief on Sunday, 2nd of November. I trust you all had a comfortable night's rest as we continue on our east-northeasterly rum line or straight line course, steering 075 degrees, carrying parallel Nova Scotia in Canada overnight, and currently approaching the Grand Banks of Newfoundland. The Grand Banks is a very large, shallow underwater rise, in effect an extension of the North American continental shelf, but underwater. We are taking a more southerly route this crossing to stay clear of the remnants of Storm Melissa, which has now crossed ahead of us towards eastern Canada, and the swell conditions are slowly easing. And since departing New York, we have now covered 790 nautical miles, at an average speed of 22 knots, and we still have approximately 2,360 nautical miles to go to Southampton. Our present position is latitude 42 degrees and 32 minutes north, and longitude 56 degrees and 41 minutes west. And geographically, that puts Queen Mary to around 240 nautical miles southeast of Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia. And we're currently passing the Cabot Strait, which is the entrance to the Gulf of St. Lawrence and Quebec City in Canada, on our port or left-hand side. Our route for the rest of the day will continue generally on this east-northeasterly heading towards the southern part of the Grand Banks of Newfoundland, known as the tail of the bank. And as mentioned earlier, the Grand Banks is a relatively shallow area of the ocean. Also, as many of you have been asking, at approximately 2 o'clock in the early hours of tomorrow morning, we will pass around 100 nautical miles north of the last resting place of Titanic on our starboard or right-hand side. So that's passing Titanic's last resting place at 2 o'clock in the early hours of tomorrow morning. On that fateful night back in 1912, it was the Cunard liner, the Carpathia, under the command of Captain Arthur Rostron, later Commodore, that responded to the distress call from Titanic and managed to rescue 705 passengers and crew. And if you are interested, there is a fascinating historical information display on Sea Stairway, Deck 5, describing Cunard's involvement in the rescue of Titanic. And now for the weather, if you've been out and about on deck, started off with a rather grey overcast day, but the cloud cover has started to break the last couple of hours with the sun shining through. We do still have a very strong following winds from the west at over 40 knots, which is Beaufort force 8, and a rough sea state and a moderate swell of around 4 to 5 meters in height. Outside air temperature is quite pleasant out on deck with the following breeze, mercury showing around 15 Celsius, which is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. The forecast for the next 24 hours is for the winds and sea state to ease slightly overnight, so a reasonably comfortable passage ahead as we clear Storm Melissa. Please do, however, take care when moving around the ship using the handrails provided and when opening the doors to the outer decks in the windy conditions. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the navigational brief for today. And now for my usual noontime nautical anecdote, and today is the origin of the expression, bite the bullet. Now, bite the bullet means to accept something for what it is, even if not totally pleasant. Now, prior to the days of anesthetics, if a sailor was wounded in battle, the most common method of helping the injured person overcome his discomfort was to have him bite on a lead bullet. This also prevented him from screaming out too loudly, something the other members of the crew found upsetting. Of course, much of the success of this treatment depended on the sailor having teeth, and that's how we got to bite the bullet. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, may I wish you a wonderful afternoon as you board Queen Mary 2, and I look forward to seeing you around the ship. And also, just a reminder that the ship's clocks have just been advanced by 1 hour, and the time is now coming up to 5 minutes past 1. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good afternoon, and see you around the ship. Captain.
Fashion is a slow process. It's so slow to change, but once it starts to change, it realizes that was kind of weird. But we do go backwards a lot. We do seem to notice things that where models and behavior of the industry could fall back if we're not brought to the table and discussing like, this is right or wrong.
Exactly. Now also with the social media, you kind of helped pivot the power away from magazines and editors to not just models, but influencers, even stylists and editors who just talk directly to their followers, like basically publishing their own magazines on Instagram. So how do you see the pivot? Do you think it's better now? Do you miss anything about the old gatekeeping system of it was editors who decided what we wear and it was editors who photographed the things and it was the magazines who told us everything? Or do you think it's better that it's more democratic?
I was just talking to a few friends, designer friends, a few days ago, and they were all discussing how they actually could care less now about these writers who come in and give an opinion on like if it's tasteful or not, if it's good or not. Because isn't it just like art? When you walk, like I know I went to the buffet looking like this. Some of you looked at me so strange, like this girl needs to chill. But I love this stuff. I love it, but it's okay if you don't. So to have one person's opinion to dictate to the rest of the world, back then again, pre-social media, it was powerful. This person, if you made them mad, they write whatever they want. If you dress them up, or you made them look good, they might write a little something extra. You don't have power that way. So I think these designers are so happy that they could just, they invite these writers. They want the writers to write good things, but if they don't, it's okay. Because the world's gonna see these images and they will decide, again, with their purses, if they will buy it or not, if they like it or not. And that is fashion. We are, some don't believe this, but we're in the industry of the arts. And so it is a $1 billion industry that if you only give it to 5 gatekeepers, 10, 20, oh my goodness, what are we all doing here? So I think the new generation, for sure, Gen Zs, whoever they are, they really did help in being like, no, I like it, so I'll buy it. And that was that. I think we all deserve to have our narrative, for sure, but the one thing that I do miss is creativity. Because there is so many voices now, so everyone's saying, I like it, I don't like it, I want it, I don't want it. Some of these designers or stylists, whoever, worry so much of everyone's opinions that what they're now feeling like they're creating isn't what they would ever have created, because there's too many chefs in the kitchen. And that's sad. I do miss the days of early 2000s when we would be in Versailles and Galliano is dressing 200 of us and he's like, go. And walk through Versailles and like perform, and who cares what they think. Now it's like, here's a white room, walk up and down, don't do anything to like put a character to this.
Right.
And I miss performing, and I think that's why I love, again, Christian. You'll see the show. And Gautier, where we walk through the room, we will play with you. It's a performance. That's what it used to be, and we give you goosebumps. You get a little scared because we're like coming at you. I love that. I think that's what we're gonna miss if AI comes around and starts replacing our jobs, because you won't get the experience of a trained model coming in and be like, do you like this? Do you want to be this? You'll have a computer telling you that very soon. So yeah, I care so much of the craft of modeling because it's such a beautiful experience to watch.
Today's Bob Mackie drawing for auction. In the Queen's Room, afternoon tea is a daily ritual on Queen Mary 2. It's complimentary, served with live music, and always draws a full house. Here's a look around the ship today. There will be a detailed tour of Queen Mary 2, including live deck plans, coming soon. We're in the Grand Lobby. This is the library on decades forward. The Corinthia Lounge. Here's the chart room. And the champagne bar. The entrance to the Illuminations Theatre. G32 nightclub. Time for morning coffee in Sir Samuel's. The gym, deck 7 forward. Time for some fresh air. Let's wander around the outside decks on decks 12, 13 and 14. We start on deck 12. The kennels. Oh yeah, turning into a nice day, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And with that, the full British greeting ritual was complete. Time for lunch. Let's see what's on offer in the King's Court buffet today. Queen Mary II's buffet is called the King's Court, and it sits on deck 7, which is very unusual. Most cruise ships place their buffets much higher up. There's a good reason for this, and it comes down to Queen Mary II being a true ocean liner. She's purpose-built for the North Atlantic, designed to remain safe and comfortable in heavy seas. It's no coincidence that her Promenade deck is also on deck 7, and that's set much higher than on a typical cruise ship to keep it above the reach of waves and the lifeboats that sit just above that. When Dr. Stephen Payne designed her, he needed large, enclosed public spaces on Deck 7 to serve as muster areas. So he placed the King's Court here, a broad midship space running from mid-forward to mid-aft, right across the beam of the ship. It doesn't just house the buffet, it's also home to many of the ship's muster stations. Today's silent auction. What would you bid? On the way up to the observation deck. Even the lifts are beautiful on Queen Mary 2. Tonight we tried Coriander, Queen Mary 2's Indian speciality restaurant, held in a beautifully converted corner of King's Court.
right? And if you're like, I can't do either of those, what's happening? We call it the Superman punch. If I punched you like Superman in the gut, what would happen? Who did that? The shoulders. If I Superman punched you in the lower back, what would happen? So even that are two great movements, okay? So we're gonna just put on a song. We're gonna have our hands to the side. You don't need to give me your A's and E's, it's not a test here. We'll put our hands to the side, and we're just gonna do stuff like this. The more the core plays, the better the photo. And I know you're like, this can't be, Coco. I promise you, it looks so good when people start to use and identify the shoulder versus doing this in their photos. Right? A little shoulder movement will change, okay? And if you want to get the booty involved, yeah. They'll play that with you. The song's coming on, let's try it out. Again, arms don't need to do nothing, but we are moving.
Here's today's Bob Mackie drawing in the grand lobby.
The time is now 12 o'clock noon. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Captain Asim Hashmi speaking from the bridge. 5 daily noon navigational brief on Wednesday, 5th of November, day 5 of our eastbound transatlantic crossing to Southampton. Well, we work this morning on a beautiful, bright, sunny day here in the North Atlantic as we continue on our Great Circle track, following the curvature of the Earth which will now take us towards the western approaches to the English Channel, currently on an east-northeasterly course of 080 degrees. And since departing New York, we have now covered 2,290 nautical miles at an average speed of 22 knots, and we still have approximately 840 nautical miles to go to Southampton. Our present position is latitude 49 degrees and 14 minutes north, and longitude 22 degrees and 16 minutes west. And geographically, that puts Queen Mary to around 890 nautical miles south of Reykjavik in Iceland on our port or left-hand side, and just under 500 nautical miles west-southwest of Mizzen Head, the southwesternmost point of Ireland, ahead of us off our port or left bow. And for your information, the depth of the Atlantic Ocean is quite deep now, around 3,500 meters for almost 11,500 feet, having passed over the mid-Atlantic ridge in the early hours of the morning. And also, just for information, we are currently sailing over lots of underwater telecommunication cables connecting Northwest Europe with Canada and the United States, which carries both modern-day telecommunication and internet data. And it was in fact in July 1858 when the first telegraph cable was laid on the Atlantic Ocean bed, connecting the United Kingdom with the USA. And just 2 weeks later, Queen Victoria sent a congratulatory message to the then US President James Buchanan. That message took over 17 hours to deliver at 2 minutes and 5 seconds per letter by Morse code. And now for the weather. If you've been out and about, nice to see so many of you walking around the Promenade deck. A nice bright sunny day with a scattered cloud cover and a fresh following northwesterly breeze at 25 knots, which is 4/6 on the Beaufort scale, giving rise to a moderate sea state and reducing swell of around 3 to 4 meters. Outside air temperature, mercury showing around 12 Celsius, which is 54 degrees Fahrenheit. The forecast for the next 24 hours is for both the wind and sea state to start easing off further as we approach the English Channel tomorrow morning, so a comfortable passage ahead. And also, just to keep you advised, ladies and gentlemen, as previously mentioned, when we departed New York, we proceeded initially at a slower speed to allow the remnants of Hurricane Melissa to pass ahead of our track, enabling a more comfortable passage. This has meant us losing quite some distance, which we've been trying to make up over the past couple of days. But looking ahead at the prevailing weather conditions and the ocean currents in the English Channel, it does look like we'll be just over 1 hour delayed coming into Southampton on Friday morning. So approximately coming alongside our berth by around 8 o'clock in the morning, rather than 7 o'clock. And whilst we may still be able to regain some lost time, at present it does look like we'll be arriving into Southampton at approximately 8 o'clock on Friday morning. I will of course keep you advised. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the navigational brief for today. May I wish you a wonderful afternoon at aboard Queen Mary 2, and I look forward to seeing you around the ship. And just a reminder that the ship's clocks have just been advanced by 1 hour, and the time is now coming up to 5 minutes past 1. Thank you for your attention, and a very good afternoon to you all. Captain.
wish you'd stay, but there you go. I have so much I wanna say to you, much I wanna say, but there's no time. We used it all. Still have so much I wanna talk about, but I messed it up and there you go. Oh, 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 oh. There you go, walking out that door. It felt so close, close, closer than it felt before. And yeah, I know that I always hurt your feelings. Yeah, I know that you'll never be forgiving me, and I just want you to know I didn't mean it. Baby, I just wanna be with you. I should be with you. So much that I would change about the way I treated you. I don't deserve a second chance. I know that I'm way too late, cause I messed it up and there you go. Oh, 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 oh. There you go, walking out that door. It felt so close, close, closer than it felt before. Forgiving me, and I just want you to know I didn't mean it. Baby, I just wanna be with you. I should be with you. There's coldness there, there's karma. There's heat, there's flames, there's lava. Volcanic, what can we do? It gets manic. I know what I'd rather. When I pick up the mic, it's power. When I pick up the mic, got powers. When I pick up the mic, it's power. When I pick up the mic, got powers. Pick up the mic, got powers.
Yeah.
4:32 in the morning. Yeah, I'm still up, you're boring. Life keeps getting better and better, and I'm not stressed, I'm snoring. It'll get messy, get gory. Simpleness not for me. I don't care about football, care about this, that, care if you're acting 40. Like quick call back, can't ignore me. They don't even know my story. Any little sour patch acting salty, flows on point like gourmet. Need a Michelin star like always, like conference call on 4 ways. Man thinks this life is a role play, so they hear about the family drama. There's coldness there, there's karma. There's heat, there's flames, there's lava. Volcanic, what can we do? It gets manic. I know what got powers. Pick up the mic, got powers. 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 Pick up the mic, got powers. 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 My classy with an army vibe. Global militant, yeah, worldwide. Keep it moving, yeah, they get tired. Got the double grab. My classy with an army vibe. Global militant, yeah, worldwide. Keep it moving, yeah, they get tired. Got this energy, I don't know why. Powers. 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 Pick up the mic, got powers. 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 4:32 in the morning. Yeah, I'm still up, you're boring. Life keeps getting better and better,
today's silent auction.
What's the hardest part of running a busy New York fashion house that people don't realize? Something that we would never know.
Oh, something that you would never know?
These are the hard-hitting questions.
It's hard. I think what most people maybe don't know is that most studios or most businesses in general, you kind of know what your day will be each week. You kind of know what happens on Monday. We just don't. We really, really don't. Literally a week ago, it was like Beyonce needs this dress tomorrow. She's gonna wear it tonight, or the next night. And we were like, but what? We don't have time. Like, what do we mean? And that really happens every week for us. So we never know what is gonna come. We never know what we're gonna have to fix or alter or make in a day. I remember Oprah's dress. When we talked about Oprah, mentioned Oprah. Oprah, we made her dress in one day, and it's the dress that she wears in her portrait in the Natural Portrait Gallery in DC. And we had no idea. We made it in a day, and it's not good. It's the best part.
It's the best part, and especially when it's like that shock of what, like, wow.
Wow, I feel so great in this. I mean, I have that every day in our studio, probably the most. Really like shocking things of like what people like rather than what they thought they wanted. It's really fun to do.
So to go to the people that you dress, you've dressed icons and rising stars alike. What personality trait makes someone really wonderful to work with? I mean, you work with everyone with different personalities.
I have had the range. Oh, Lord. I mean, sometimes the first ladies are even easier than the pop girls. Like, girl, you do not have security. Why are you rude? I was like, it's true.
So true.
Literally, I'm like, she has 9 security guards. You got none. Why are you sassy? You're rude.
Is there something you've always wanted to create but haven't dared to attempt?
To create?
Yeah.
Oh God, no, I don't think so. I mean, there's a million projects I want to do. Like, I would love to do a giant ballet for ABT or the American Ballet Theater, whatever it would be, or I don't know, a ballet around the world. I would love to do that, and I want to do a big film. And I've been asked to do films and TV things, but the time. I'd have to give like my whole time.
Good life.
And that would be really hard. Like I could never do I was like, oh, maybe I could do a film like Wicked. But then he's like, no, because you travel for 5 years doing these costumes. And I was like, well, then I'm out. Thank you so much. And I would love, I know, it'd been cool. But one day.
One day, like Fifth Element.
When I'm more retired as actual like working designer, I would love to do that.
When a client says, I trust you, do anything. First of all, what does that even mean? What happens next?
I hear that so many times. Like, one, that's a lie. Nobody trusts anything ever to make someone look beautiful. So you just have to, you have to really make sure you figure out that person as much as you can on that, I don't know, very quick meeting if you don't know them. And I think like what we try to do is it's trial and error. Do you like this? Would you wear that? What don't you like is actually what I ask the most. What's not your vibe? And then I put them in that. And then, it's a good test because I have so many people. I think everybody in this room has always had that. Oh, I could never wear a strapless dress, or I could never show my arms, or whatever that is. I try to kind of change the perception because I think that it's hard to say never, and I think it's really important for you to maybe it's just not the right thing. I get a lot of brides that way. I could never wear that shape, and then they put on that shape, and they're like, that's my dress. Because I think you don't always know, you really do. It's trial and error and how you feel in your life at that moment, and that day, and that month, or what is the event. So I hate when people say, oh, I can never wear that. I want people to try new things all the time.
And this is the final silent auction. We never did find out the winners. Apparently they're contacted once everyone is safely home. After packing, we headed to the Commodore Club for a final cocktail and a moment to reflect on the week before our arrival tomorrow morning at the Mayflower Cruise Terminal. Before I run through how much this cost, if you know someone considering a themed Cunard voyage or a transatlantic crossing, please feel free to share this with them. I'd love to hear your comments, and do subscribe so you don't miss plenty more ahead, including a detailed director's cut tour of Queen Mary 2. Now for how much this cost. Originally we booked a round-trip obstructed view balcony stateroom, then we bid to upgrade to Princess Grill. If this journey spoke to you, its sister voyage, the outbound crossing, is right here. Thank you for watching. I'm David from Curious to Travel. Stay curious.